Hello, everyone. Happy holidays. December 25th, 2025. This is my unit. When we're together, we're the Porters. When we separate in our lives, I'm Willie Porter. Wendy Porter. Blake Porter. And so today, we're together. So we're the Porters. And just want to share something brief with you because this year has been full of a lot of love because that's what we always project. And there's a lot of negative energy out there. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not rude, it is not self seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoice in the truth. It always projects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. So I hope you guys continue to have a good holiday, a good life, and I'll see you guys January 26, 2026. December 25th. I want to take a moment to clean up something I said Thanksgiving. I had to go back on my blood pressure meds. Uh, my iPhone 17 Pro Max. I don't have one of those apps, but it's like everything electronics that we deal with today. Everything monitored our way of being, our life. So a feed came through that speaking on some of the symptoms I was dealing with, such as headache and just not feeling well, and getting up frequently, uh, relieving my bladder, which old men do anyway, because I'm 20, I'm 65 years old, so uh, I checked my blood pressure and it was high. So I called in my prescription and I still had some Loprinosil. So yes, I took that. So I'm never coming off of my blood pressure meds. I don't care if I get down to 195, 190 and feel comfortable with it, but that's just my makeup. So I want to clear that up. And I want to clear another thing up. I had said that I love my siblings to death. I want to clear that up. I love my siblings in life. I love all the life that's in them, and I hope they live 100 years. But we just so estranged from one another that we'll never be in the same room again. But I just wanted to clear that up. So that's that. And sometimes we deal with hate, and the opposite of hate is love. So which I've shared as a ton of family around. And I've never felt comfortable at a point in my life where I felt like a lot of hate was directed towards me. But I will say this: where they have been playing checkers with hate, I've been playing chess with love, and I have lived two lifetimes at this juncture. So some of the things that they wanted to provoke from myself is never taking place, will never take place, because at this third lifetime, I won't ever be putting myself in that position again. So if you have people playing checkers with hate, play chess with love. And checker game is over in sometimes 10 minutes. A chess game can go on for several hours. So be well with your chess game. And this alcohol that you see behind me, it's been here for 4 years. I set it up on Wendy's 60th birthday, and so I thought, the relationships that would get built from that, persons would continue to come over and we would eat and feast and have drinks. But after my last surgery, no one sent a get well card. So from there, I realized and accept the fact that those persons are not worth you having in your home and eating your food and drinking your beverages. And so I also use it to as a life lesson to my son that you can have alcohol in your home, and if you decide to set a bar up, you don't have to drink it. It's in your home, so it's okay to have alcohol and not drink it. And so I wanted to address sometimes things that I see, and I'm gonna address this one thing of that's relative going on in the world today with the amount of pedophiles. And apparently, my generation is the 60s, so and I mean myself being 65, and my classmates, white one, being 65 and whatnot. So that generation, for them to vote for this type of administration, I would have to ask, that they find themselves as children sitting on grandpa's lap every Sunday and getting back, uh, what's that? And, it's a lollipop. And the mom just accepting that because she sat on her granddad's lap. And I guess that's just something that may take place. But when I hold, never held that many, but when I hold a niece, this is a niece. This is how I held my little niece when she was an infant. At some point, I stopped by when my older sister was living with parents, so she was 4 weeks old. But if I ever held her again, that's how I was gonna hold her. So, and I'm not insinuating anything, but I just don't think that's good for children. That's just my opinion, and I want to share something with you guys real quick, and we'll see where it goes. It's out of comes out of Romans 6:20. When you are a slave to sin, you are free from the control of righteousness. What benefit did you reap at this time from the things you are now ashamed of? These things result in death, but now that you have been set free from sin and have become a slave to God, the benefit reaped and the result is eternal life. For the wage of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord. So what I got out of that is, yeah, at some point I was a slave to substance. So there are people that are slave to to hate. People are a slave to food, money, uh, violence, domestic violence. People are slave to sports. People can be a slave to anything that's just not good for your human better quality of life. So yeah, uh, I chose to be a slave to love and respect and happiness. So that's where my slavery relies at, and so I don't have a problem being a slave to that. But I'm gonna go into a story because it's in how we all are connected. So I hope you can just walk with me for a few minutes. I'm going to show you a picture. That was the first Christmas that I remember, being happy because that Christmas it was on a Sunday morning, and Pop asked, what do y'all want for breakfast? And so I said I wanted cake. So it was a chocolate cake there, and so Mom was getting ready to, go off that, I can't, you can't. But he said, in a soft spoken voice, let him have it. So I ate cake that Christmas morning, and that was just been was the highlight of my Christmas, and I've never forgotten that Christmas. So yes, as an adult, I have eaten cake on Christmas morning. I don't do it anymore because it can't be the healthiest thing for a person. So that was in the '60s. So sometimes how we all connected in '87. I stopped at my parents, Wendy and I, on Christmas morning, and my older sister, she and her boyfriend, they showed up because we arrive early and leave early. So a boyfriend uh, never met me. He says, "Oh, so this the one that drive the BMW is supposed to be whatever." And I'm thinking, okay, so they just talk junk about me to everyone. So we sat there a few minutes and I'm processing it and thinking, why is this man putting that type of energy in the niece that I showed you? I was holding. They stayed together long enough to produce her, and so they didn't get married because whatever reason, that some black men will produce a child with a woman and not follow through with the full process of a man and woman coming together to make a child and build a life together. So that's that. I never saw the guy again. Heard. I would hear about him from time to time from Lisa, because when she was here, Lisa always kept me informed with the goings on within the family structure, and so that was that. So let's move forward with my surgeries. 4 years ago, when I had surgery, I went to my well, Wendy was having car trouble, so I guess for a week I drove her to Shelby. So I have an uncle live in Shelby, and he like CBD, marijuana. So at the time, CBD wasn't strong enough to help me with my pain. So I was going to spend time with him, and because he smoked it. So and I would always, my body would feel so much better. So it was to the point that it felt so good. I spent more time, hanging out with him, and he made a comment that me coming to hang out with him, he feels special. I thought that was weird, but it is what it is. So spent time, and so and a story I talked about Thanksgiving was the being stranded on Sugar Creek. So I had shared that story with my uncle, and this is how sometimes I guess someone may form it up, witches and warlock, but it's just bad behavior when someone take a story and do something else with it. So anyway, I told him that story, and of course he laughed, and I'm thinking, okay, well, that's not funny, but he laughed. So I guess he felt like sometime the way I may phrase a story that it may come out sort of comical. But I wasn't feeling like that was funny. So he says to me, "Oh, Will, you lying because you sure you're not just trying to get a laugh?" So that's when I really felt like, okay, he getting ready to do something sinister with this content because the persons that it involved. So from there, I didn't go back over there. And so sometimes when a person repeats a story that they felt like they truly felt like they know it was wrong, but that's not how they position themselves with that story at that time. So when they repeat it, it may be repeated like it was presented file or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's the truth. And and I said to him, the truth is just the truth. If there's a story, if it needed repeating, I would repeat it to a person. But had no intentions of that because why? I mean, we just kicking it. So undoubtedly he did what he did with the story. So that was a let me get the dates. Let me get the dates. There was a funeral in the family, a young man, August 2023. And I would keep up with that stuff on a family feed on Facebook. And so with a funeral and other family information, if I decided I wanted to participate, I would. And usually funerals, I would go and show my pay my respects. So this particular funeral, they stated that wear Dallas Cowboys because that's their team. You talking about a whole clan of persons. Will show up anywhere that's acknowledged that that's their dress attire. Will have their Dallas Cowboys. So I show up at the funeral. I don't do that. If you say a person's favorite color purple. I never show up at a funeral with some purple, not even a purple necktie. I just put on some clothing and go and pay my respects. But sometimes black families can turn a funeral into I don't know some form of for me a form of disrespect. But some people they just love a funeral, and this group of people, a lot of people in Cleveland County, they love freaking funerals. I mean, people will not even send you that personally, will not send you a get well card, but they'll send you a birthday card because they expect a birthday card. They will show up at your funeral and take a day off, but not wish you to get healthy from a surgery, major surgeries. But that's just how a lot of we humans are built in the black community. So I go to the funeral. I just put on a nice white clean, stylish T-shirt, and some black uh, uh, slacks, joggers or whatever, casual. As I knew my uncle had did something with that story. Soon as I showed up, no one spoke with me. I sat at the very back on a pew where the ushers will sit, and nobody even sat there. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a lot of. I feel a lot of hostility, and the energy is just jacked up. Nobody's wise with them. My older sibling, they have a successful daycare in Charlotte. So for the two of them, or even himself, not to show up at a funeral is totally understandable. And usually, they will not, or he will not, because he helping run their successful business. So when I saw that he was there, I thought, okay, that's uh, that's interesting. So all this negative energy, and that's a group that lives in Connecticut. They came down, and the sister, she's a minister, so she did her minister thing for the funeral, and I could easily say his eulogy, but uh, we'll get to that in a second. So the funeral is over. No wives are there to keep anybody intact and keep them poised. And so I figured, okay, everybody got on Rough Riders. We can go out here and play flag football if we need to. So I walked down, and I speak to this young lady, and she just came out of the pulpit, and she says to me, "There's an aunt that will go, and they will meet at a Dallas Cowboy football game, and so that's her favorite aunt. That's fine." And so she says this particular aunt said everyone in this family is crazy, and so I'm thinking, what a thing to say. So then she says to me, uh, "Yeah," she said, "that includes you." So I'm thinking, okay, that's disturbing, and but more than disturbing, I find it, stupid and a form of ignorance. See, to communicate that way, and you here to celebrate the passing of our first cousin. So that was that. So her brother came up to me and says, "Oh, so you just don't really have anything to do with the family at all. You just." And I've said this and made it clear to some persons in the family when they approach me that way, that I know how to avoid domestic violence, because my older brother always push off that type of energy, that he want some kind of confrontation to take place. I don't do that. I'm not interested in any form of violence. And so the way this was unfolding, that uh, they was really pressed for something to take place. So this uncle approaches me, and says that, Will, you coming to the gym for to eat, right? So I'll say yes, just to shut it down, because I'm deciding what kind of energy, and I never stay at a funeral. So they pretty much know that after the funeral, I speak and say hello, who I come in contact with, and I keep it moving. I go get in my car and go home. So so this time I'm hanging around, because I'm really wanting to pick up on what do they think gonna transpire. And then part of me, like, it would be cool to go in this gym and say hello to some of the aunts that I haven't said hello to. So a second time, my this uncle, from a distance, Will, you coming in, right? So I says to him, yeah, I'll be there. So me being an old man, I go to restroom, and then the deacon that was taking care of the church that particular day, he's a person of interest. He's been around the family forever, and I've gone to that church countless times, and he always give me, some kind of side eye, and so we never speak. So I would always get bad energy from himself for, I don't know, for the last 50 years or so. So so when I came out, he was at the door to close it. So and I'm thinking, okay, I guess they got the air conditioner running, so they want to keep the air conditioner in. So he give me some kind of look like, you coming in, and I said, yeah, I'll be in. So when he closed the door, I pondered for a moment, and then I walked to the door. And as I reached for that door, my Lord and Savior said, Will, there's nothing in there but trouble. Go get in your Beamer and go home. And that's what I did. I went and got in my car and I came home. So I'm processing, what's going to take place? What was going to take place? Now moving forward, and we'll circle back in a moment. That same year, October 10th, that same niece that I showed you I was holding, and her dad made that comment about what he made a comment about. And then when I went outside on that particular Christmas in '87, he was driving an older Beamer. So all I thought was, oh man, if this guy would have managed himself in a more respectful way, I would have said, uh, I'm not gonna call his name. Come outside and show me your car, man, because older Beamers fascinated me, and that was my first one in '87. So, but because he was foul about it, we just got in our car and just left. So I always thought about that. But if he was already, it pretty much had his mind set on when people talk about you, and I guess burn some kind of position of thought towards you. Some people just can't navigate around it. That's just what they present. So that was that. So I didn't see that gentleman anymore until his daughter's wedding, and so saw my sibling and his wife uh, was with him, and it was almost like she was like had to like conversate with him, just chill out, and because if you harboring some kind of anger towards a person that you just need to get off your chest, and you didn't get to do it at that funeral, because we know people don't give a crap about a funeral and the way things are set up now with some churches. It can be a danger zone. So anyway, so we didn't even get to meet her husband, because the table I was sitting at. This is how sometimes trouble. Some people may call it witchcraft. So we sitting at this table with some family, and one of my aunts says, speaking of this young lady's dad, he y'all see how old he look? He's older than whatever. And if I was that type of person to engage, that's what I would have done. But I'm not that type of person. So I got up from the table, walked over to the table where my sister, the mother of this young lady, and I whispered in her ear that particular aunt had said what she said. So I'm letting you know, when it comes back to you, that I was engaged in that. You can do what you want to do with it. So I went back to my table, and my aunt asked, what did you say to your sister? And I said, well, yeah, I was over here talking about how old that guy is, and whatever. So they left me alone. And one niece they was having this conversation, and then you know, a person they just talking about themselves or whatever, and then they as soon as they finish, they look at you like, well, what have you been doing? Is any of your business? So I shut all that down, and I just simply said, you know, I'm just waiting on this lovely lady, my wife, to retire, and that we can continue to live our marital bliss. So that's how sometimes you shut down some witchcraft or just some troublemakers. So they didn't say anything us to us the rest of that evening. So then when dinner was served, I saw some aunts that they wouldn't even give me eye contact. So we ate some food, and so you know, I say hello, I don't say goodbye. We left. We was out of there. So then I started thinking about, okay, this person, I told that story to my uncle, and and so this is what I think was gonna take place at that young man's funeral. Nobody's wife was there. It was set. You got all your family that you will spend $1,000 on raw food and travel with a grill and cook it on the 4th of July because you know are you owning that whole setup because you're paying for it. So I've dropped a grilled turkey off before, a sweet potato cobbler or a chocolate cake at one of the functions, and I don't know whether they ate it or what, but that was that. But never I would go and purchase raw food and then prepare it and but you know, so y'all already know the story. That's his family. So this is what I think was going to take place because a lot of rural churches they have uh, exercised their right that with the things that have taken place with some church shootings, school shootings, that they have gone and people have gotten themselves uh, concealed carry. And so this sibling of mine, I've heard him talk about his gun. At some point, his old man had asked him to come over there and talk to him about something. And I've seen this young man before, you know, after my mom's funeral, they got into some kind of shouting match that my sister Lisa had informed me, and I'm thinking, why? So anyway, my sibling called me and said that Pop wanted him to come over and talk to him about something, and he don't know what he want to talk about, but I'm gonna carry my 9mm. And so I says to him, dude, if you gotta carry your gun to be around this person, why? Why even go? You smarter than that. You smarter than him. So why you gonna indulge in that? Like that, he just ignored that. So then he says, "Oh, I could just get my uncle, uh, middle uncle to go with me." And I thought, oh, you're just gonna put he in danger. And so you know, that's that was weird. So so I think what was going to take place that day that he was going to confront me about me being left on Sugar Creek, and they just you know, I guess made a joke out of it, and he didn't like me, you know, telling one of my memories that involved he and his family. And so what was probably going to unfold that it was going to be an accidental shooting, and that whole family was gonna acknowledge that it was a accident, and include that deacon was gonna stand by that because we already know people love a funeral. People love a funeral. So if this group has not confronted why did that little girl leave her house at 3 o'clock in the morning, so you know, you just it is what it is. So I won't ever have to worry about being put in that uh, position again. But I mean, one more thing when it comes to we uncles. you know, men, stop setting your nieces on your laps. Uh, Stepfathers, stop setting little girls on your lap on Facebook. It's not a good look, and you shouldn't do it. Period. I think it sends a bad message in the little girl's mind that I don't support it. I just don't support it. But in January, we're gonna talk about uh, 12 years of this failed school system being a '60s kid. But I want to talk about this real quick that took place when I was in the ninth grade. I didn't have a driver license. My younger brother is younger. So this uncle, everybody I'm sure has this uncle that just loves sports, a slave to sports, but not good at sports. So he and his friend formed a softball team. So he came over and asked Pop, could my young brother and I play on the softball team? And so he gave him permission. So my young brother and I, we was excited. We're not gonna have to just kill this time at home being bored to death, and we're gonna every day at 3 o'clock. Our uncle gonna pick us up, and we're gonna go to the baseball field and practice softball. They just exerting some energy, and so we and bonding with our uncle. Just felt real good about it. So he picked us up, and after about a couple of weeks of that, I guess he got tired of driving us. So I don't know. This gentleman ended up on the softball team that lived right over in our neighborhood. So this guy was notorious, known for driving just like a bat out of hell, dangerously, speed, and so um, he was on the softball team, but that meant nothing to us because you're responsible for picking us up and driving us home. So he asked us would we ride with him one Friday that he had something else to do. So we rode with the young man, and I got in the front seat, and my young brother got in the back seat, and the dude was driving fast, and but driving under control. So I didn't think too much about it. So I guess then he picked us up like that Monday and drove the same way, drove us there and back. And then there was a Tuesday, he picked us up and drove us back. And my young brother says to me, he's not riding with that guy anymore. And I really probably hadn't really noticed because my whole thing focus were, graduate high school, get away from this house. And so he brought it to my attention. So we rode with him again, and I thought, okay, this is dangerous. This is freaking dangerous. Because by this time he'd gotten really comfortable with us. So we said we wasn't riding with him anymore. So and my uncle was, going through this thing. It's just ridiculous that this man lives right there. That for him to have to drive over here, and then our argument was, if he wasn't on the team, you would, if you wanted us to, we don't have a license, so nobody's gonna drive us here. We was at home just chilling, ready for a boring summer, but you asked us to do this, so he went on that that's how selfishness can show itself. So we quit the team because we're not doing this. We're not riding with this dangerous person. So a few months later, the guy uh, hit came off the road, hit a block well house, and then finished up with a tree, and all the damage was on the majority of the damage was on the driver's side, passenger side. I'm sorry. I would have been there. The back was gone. My young brother would have been there, and this young man, he came out paralyzed, and it's Clinton Chambers, and so to this day, uncle has never acknowledged that he put us in such danger. Not once it had ever came up. But if we would have lost our life that day, uh, and so I guess it would have just been I'm sorry, and he would have apologized to my parents. So yeah, y'all watch out for those uncles, cause they can be different. They can be different. So those same two uncles, they got goaded into like I said, domestic violence. So in their young manhood, young age, they lived at home with their mom. So there was tension there, the selfishness. I'm sure my younger uncle would get his clothing and not treat them properly. And my uncle, middle uncle, he worked, and so eventually you get pissed off about that. So I'm sure some arguments had taken place. So we would go to my younger cousins would go to this white lady's house, and because she gave us permission, and shoot basketball. And so this particular Sunday, my two uncles came to this home, and a couple of their brother-in-laws, and we thought, okay, why are y'all here? So they started shooting ball because we got out of the way because we just small children. So the next thing you know, these two brothers are in physical altercation with one another, and so this one brother-in-law says, "Man, we gotta stop this." And so I'm a child, and I hear this other brother-in-law, uh, "No, let him get it out. Let him get it out." And I'm thinking, okay, that's dark and sinister. But so they stopped, and they took it on down the road to grandma's house, and that was just an ugly day. But a lot of times when people goat you that way, and you can never heal from it. So I think that's the motivation, because I've always was looking for my uh, middle uncle to say, to my brother, man, why don't you chill out? Will just showing up, and he's not presenting any kind of negative. Why don't you chill out? But because you paying for everything, nobody's gonna tell you to chill out. So, and then I think some of it, because they was goaded into something like that, a confrontation, that they felt like that should be in us, and it is in him, but it's not in me. I don't have to be. I will never be. So I think that was always a disappointment. But that day at that young man's funeral, I think that's when they felt like, it's getting ready to take place. And I really believe that it was going to be an accidental shooting, and the whole family was going to acknowledge that it was an accident. And because with uh, conceal, you can carry a gun in a church. But when you've had conversations with me, to go and have a conversation with your old man that's deranged and dark and sinister himself, and you're going to carry your gun. So I know that would not be an issue with an accidental shooting in my direction. So that's the reason I'm a slave to love, and I'm a slave to God's teaching, and have been for 28 years when he saved me at that shampoo bowl. You're not gonna find me out. Praise God. That is not what he wanted me to do. He just wanted me to be a genuinely good, loving, caring person, and take care of my wife and son, and and just keep moving forward. And yes, I do love my family. I always will. I never have to see any of them another day, because I can just think about them, every one of them, their name, their emotions, and I can see them. So I don't ever have to be in you guys' presence again, because at this point in life, I don't feel safe around you. I do not feel safe around you. So, and it's Christmas 2025, and you guys gonna eat some good food and be good to your household, because it's all kind of darkness outside of your door. I can walk down the street and have white people look at me like I don't belong to exist. So, but in your home, make sure it's heaven, because there's a lot of hell out there, and you all know that. So put out some good spiritual energy, and work on getting rid of that dark energy. So I'll see you guys January 25th, 2026, and we're gonna talk about the first grade, because it's crazy. And in persons, if you want to shut down people coming at you sideways when you guys are out and about around family, go home and film it and put it on a video. Put it on a video and put it on Facebook. Repeat what they said to you, and that will help change how. I don't care what somebody think of me. I'm all about your actions. If your actions are dark and your energy is dark, I'm just gonna move away from it. But if you verbally share some of that darkness with me, I'm gonna put it on the video. Put it on the video. So you guys have good holidays, and be peaceful. Just be peaceful.